B-2 bombers move closer to Australia as the US strengthens long-range strike operations amid growing Indo-Pacific tensions. Australia boosts America's Pacific posture by helping extend the operational reach of US stealth bomber missions. Australian aerial refuelling tankers help extend the range and endurance of America's B-2 stealth bombers during Pacific operations. Australia's Air Force successfully refueled a US Air Force B-2 Spirit stealth bomber during the Diamond Storm 26 military exercise. The exercise highlighted Australia's expanding role in supporting US long-range bomber operations across the Indo-Pacific region. The aerial refueling mission enabled the B-2 bomber to extend its operational range across the vast Pacific theater without landing. Analysts said Allied aerial refueling and logistics capabilities are becoming increasingly important to US power projection in the Indo-Pacific. Australian KC-30A tanker aircraft helped reduce reliance on US aerial refueling assets traditionally based in Guam and Hawaii. The arrangement provided US bomber forces with greater operational flexibility during long-range strike and deterrence missions. Reports said growing pressure on the US tanker fleet has increased following aircraft losses and continuing delays to the KC-46 program. Australia has steadily expanded its role in supporting broader US military operations and strategic deployments across the Pacific region. RAAF Base Tindal is also being upgraded to support deployments of US B-52H nuclear-capable strategic bombers in northern Australia. The report added that future US B-21 Raider stealth bombers could also operate from Australian bases as regional capabilities expand. Analysts said such forward deployments would allow the United States to generate combat sorties more rapidly across the Indo-Pacific theater. Iran accuses the US of pushing the tankers into a dangerous corridor near Hormuz to test its resolve and rules. The IRGC says repeated radio warnings were ignored by the fending vessels before it decided to take action. Iran claims the ships were hit and disabled in a calibrated response meant to stop further violations. Tehran accuses Washington of using civilian tankers as pawns in a wider confrontation at sea. Iran insists it is merely defending its territorial waters and regional maritime security against foreign interference. The strike reportedly killed one Indian crew member and left 8 others injured, according to Iran International. The UAE says Iran used 2 cruise missiles in the attack and has vowed it will respond. The United States has launched a 3rd consecutive night of military strikes against Iran, signaling a major escalation in the conflict. President Donald Trump has ordered a fresh wave of attacks as US Central Command vows to keep increasing pressure on Iranian forces. US Central Command said, and I quote, "At 4:45 p.m. ET today, US Central Command began launching the 3rd consecutive night of strikes against Iran, at the Commander-in-Chief's direction. These strikes will continue imposing a heavy cost on Iranian forces and degrade their ability to attack innocent civilians and commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz." Unquote. According to CENTCOM, the operation will continue until Iran's military capabilities are significantly degraded. The latest strikes are also aimed at protecting international shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Fresh explosions have been reported across Bandar Abbas as the latest round of US strikes hit southern Iran. Iranian media also reported multiple blasts on Kish Island, suggesting the conflict is spreading to more strategic locations. Iran has responded by launching cruise missiles at a US vessel operating in the Gulf, according to reports. Tehran also claimed that its drone strikes targeted American military facilities inside Kuwait. Iranian officials further claimed that several US bases in Kuwait were successfully hit during the retaliatory operation. Air raid sirens were reportedly heard in Bahrain amid unconfirmed reports of activity near the US Fifth Fleet. Security concerns are also growing in the United Arab Emirates as the conflict expands across the Gulf. The US Embassy in Abu Dhabi and the US Consulate in Dubai have cancelled public appointments because of escalating regional threats. The Trump administration has formally notified Congress that US hostilities against Iran have resumed. The White House insists President Trump has the constitutional authority to continue military operations against Iran. The renewed campaign has now triggered a fresh political clash between Congress and the White House over presidential war powers. President Trump says the latest strikes were defensive actions carried out to protect vital American interests. Washington has warned Tehran that it will continue paying a heavy price for targeting commercial shipping. The Strait of Hormuz has once again emerged as the central battlefield in the growing US-Iran confrontation. With missiles, drones, naval attacks and airstrikes intensifying, the Gulf region appears to be moving closer to a much wider war.
And we're hitting them very hard, and it'll continue, and we'll see what happens, but we're knocking out all of their offensive capability, and we're controlling the straits, we're putting the blockade back. And it's a blockade not for anybody but Iran. In other words, anybody doing business with Iran can't go through. Everyone else will be able to go through. So it's a blockade. It's a very strong blockade. The blockade was probably more effective even than hitting them, but I think the combination is the thing that really does it.
But you think a deal is still possible? You think they'll return to that?
Yeah, I think a deal is possible, sure, I do.
But, Mr. President, you noted the United States is bombing Iran again. I mean, you've been bombing Iran for months now. Is this just the new normal for the American people?
Well, we're in Vietnam for 19 years. We're here for 4 months. So I think we've done a lot. We've knocked out their Navy in a period of 1 month. We knocked out their Air Force. Their Air Force is non-existent. We knocked out most of their missiles, most of their drones. We knocked out their drone manufacturing capability, about 92%. Their missile capability for manufacturing, we knocked out 89%. And they have a little capability, but they don't have any capability for us. This is almost a military skirmish. Now, with all of that being said, you have to get people that want to make something. We had a deal with them 2 days ago, and then they said, oh, we can't make that deal. We have to negotiate it further. And this is what they've done for 47 years. The difference is nobody negotiated like I do. And this should have been done by Bush and Obama and Biden and people before them, frankly. It's 47 years they've been ripping off everybody and really hurting and killing thousands of people. So they killed 52,000 protesters, but they killed many, many people with Soleimani, who I killed in the first term. Soleimani killed many people, many people, and not only killed, when you see a young former soldier walking around with no legs, no arms, a face that's been horribly hurt, that was done by Iran.